devotional for May 1st. It's about a lesson I learned from Lauri to practice more many years ago. It's based off of two Bible verses, Romans 5:8. God demonstrates his love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And then Lamentations 3:21, because of the Lord's great love, we're not consumed. His mercies and compassion are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. So thankfully, we're thankful when we're raised in loving families, and we all are. And we have that in our church as well. But the challenge is to express that in appropriate words more regularly. Now, I grew up loving mom and dad and brothers, but culturally, it isn't quite practiced as often as it could be. And because of the experience Lauri had in her life, she came into a family of 6 boys, our family, and started doing this, which I really was influenced by and picked up off of her, and have had many years of expressing love for one another. I'll let her tell her experience.
Well, I was raised in a family that expressed their love a lot. In spite of German and Norwegian backgrounds, we grew up saying "I love you" a lot to each other anyway. And I'm really glad we did, because when I was 13, I was with my dad. We were in an accident, and my dad's life was taken. He went straight to heaven, and I was left with his good memory, but not with my daddy. So that was a really hard time, but I just kind of had realized and kept on practicing the importance of not holding your feelings inside and saying, well, I'm sure he knows I love him, but to just say, I love you, I love you, I love you a lot.
And so when our children, 3 kids, 2 boys and daughter, were young, we practiced this all the time. And Lauri set the pace. I'm glad she did. And we all have love in our families, but to express it is sometimes more of a challenge. So what I learned, I'm so thankful from her example. To my dad, here's 2 guys, and I often, off of Lauri's example of saying, Dad, I sure love you. Well, she didn't have a dad. I just started saying regularly, and I said it 1,000 times to my dad, I love you, Dad. And vice versa. And it got to be really meaningful. And also, that's what I carried on in churches I've served. My mom told me once the one thing she really loved is when she heard her pastor, Pastor Phil, say in front of their congregation about his wife, I sure love my wife, or I love you people, the church. So I try to do that. But just this last week, it hit home with me, the importance of that again, because a dear friend of our church, Gary Foster, passed away. And I met Gary probably 5 years ago in the coffee shop. And at the time when I first met him, he had some deep hurts in his life. And anyway, we were able to become closer friends. And we shared some common author, Kyle Idleman, who wrote the book Aha. And the book Aha is about the prodigal son. It's about God's unconditional love for everyone. And we talked about that a lot. But after these discussions in the coffee shop and after church, I said to Gary often, I sure love you, Gary. And he said, I love you too. Well, we lost him last week. Man, am I glad that I told Gary verbally many times, I love you, Gary. I don't have that chance anymore, but thank God for the lesson of expressing it when we have a chance. And so the encouragement is, do it as often as you can. You don't want to miss that opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great way to end. I love you, Randy.
I love you too.
Oh, whoops, I wasn't going to give you a real kiss. I was just going to kiss your cheek. Oh, I guess we got that on tape. Okay, Lord bless you guys. We love you.
Yeah, we love you.